Hi everyone. This book review is going to be about the book Wicca for One: The Path of Solitary Witchcraft by Raymond Buckland. This book was published in 2004, so I don't know if the biography is current or not, but this is a photograph of Raymond Buckland, and I'm going to share with you his biography. Raymond Buckland is the British-born author of numerous books on practical magic, including the best-selling Buckland's Complete Book of Witchcraft, Practical Color Magic, and Practical Candle-Burning Rituals. A protege of the late Dr. Gerald Gardner, he introduced Gardnerian Wicca to the United States in the 1960s, and is a leading authority on witchcraft, voodoo, and the supernatural. He lives in North Central Ohio. Now me, personally, I am not a Wiccan. I don't know much about Wicca, which is the reason I selected this book. I like to read books about various belief systems so that I can have a better understanding of all of them, but also to prevent myself from accidentally offending anyone about their spiritual beliefs. So as far as Wicca, before I read this book, I had my own assumptions, which I will say after I state who the target audience for this book is for. The target audience obviously are solitaries, but I feel it is for those who are beginning solitaries. If you are advanced in your craft, then this book will be a good refresher. But I believe that his target audience was for those who are solitaries just starting out, those who are just coming out of the broom closet, because he simplifies the vocabulary. He talks about the basics, how to do a ritual, how to consecrate tools and different things. Whereas if you were advanced, you wouldn't have to, go back to the basics. You would just progress to the next level, get into the little small complexities of the craft. But my personal assumptions about Wicca were that Wicca was like the gateway to magic. Wicca is a good path to go down if you are just starting off with magic and you don't have any structure. Wicca provides you with that structure. It also provides you with like a group setting because some people join covens. It also helps you in making, sensible decisions because you have the Wiccan read, which emphasizes that if you are doing a spell or a ritual, as long as it doesn't bring any harm to you, to another person, to another living being, an animal of the universe, then do whatever you please, as long as it doesn't bring harm. Whereas if you're just out there and you don't really know, anything could happen to you. At least with Wicca, you get some type of structure. A lot of people that join Wicca do not stay in Wicca. Some stay for their entire lives. Others branch out to different belief systems. Others have, left Wicca and went back to Christianity, and that's okay. So this book is divided into 3 parts. The first part is the case for solitaries. The second part is solitary practice. And the last part are glossaries. So in the back, there's a glossary for different herbs that you can use for magic. He lists the planets that the herbs are associated with. He has a list of crystals, other magical terms that he wrote throughout the book. And there is another one, if I'm not mistaken, hold on, a bibliography and magical alphabets. In part 1, he talks about why solitaries should be considered real witches too. Solitaries, I suppose, predate covens. Some people don't consider you a real witch unless you are part of a coven. I'm not saying all people, I'm saying some people. Some people do not consider you a true witch unless you are in a coven. And this isn't just with Wicca. This is with other groups. It's like, you're not truly that because you haven't been initiated into such and such a thing. As far as my personal opinion on initiation, I'm like, who created the initiation? Some other person created the initiation. So why can't I create my own initiation? That is one thing that Scott Cunningham, he also wrote a lot of books on Wicca. He talks about initiating yourself, and that made some people very angry because they're like, no, you can't initiate yourself. But Raymond Buckland states that the solitary witch is older. It predates the coven. It is more ancient than the coven. You have solitary witches throughout mythology. You have solitary witches in history. He mentions Joan of Arc. He mentioned another person named Cunningham. And this isn't just in Wicca. This is in other magical systems as well. Like Marie Laveau. I'm pronouncing her name correctly. She was a solitary, and she was one of the most powerful women in her town. What was interesting was he mentioned that his mentor, Gardner, when he was, I guess, researching like witches, the old religion, he would come across different covens, different groups that believed that they were the last ones in that area. They believed that they were the last practitioners of the old way in that area. Now, today, somebody might hear that and they would just laugh. They're like, okay, whatever. All they have to do is like go down in the city or go to some health food store and you'll find like 10 witches. But you have to think, witches were and still are persecuted. You still have people getting killed for practicing witchcraft. You still have people who are being discriminated because of their belief system. They can't open shops in certain neighborhoods. They can't even have certain jobs because of their belief system. It is truly real. I have seen it happen to people, even though I am not Wiccan. So I'm like going on a spiel. But the reason some people say solitary was to save their lives. Like, just imagine, for example, Salem witch trials. Imagine you are a woman practicing magic in that town during that time. Would you want to join somebody, to collaborate with somebody magically? Probably not. Probably not. You are safer by yourself. When you are a solitary practitioner, you don't have to deal with certain things that the negative sides of being in a group. Being in a group, being in a coven, being in different magical groups, that's good. It's nice, it's great, because you can raise the power. Things happen faster because you have all of this energy directed to a common cause. You have a group energy flowing, and things will happen twice as fast than if you were by yourself, usually. However, since you have that group energy, negative things can come your way too. Because everybody might be on the same page except one person. Everybody might be on a humble train except that one narcissistic, egotistical person. And that person might be the coven leader, who knows? So you might have infighting going on. Whereas when you are a solitary, you don't have to worry about that infighting unless it's infighting within yourself. You don't have to worry about all these petty arguments. You don't have to worry about somebody else's energy messing up your ritual work or messing up your spell. Because you're by yourself. You are responsible for yourself. He mentions in the second part, solitary practice, he shows the tools. And what I love about this chapter is he explains like the history of the tool, where it came from, where the name came from. Hold on. See, he has some illustrations of some. There's another one that he has where it's a besom, or besom. A besom is a broomstick, and it says, "This has a place in the history of witchcraft being looked upon by many as the traditional instrument of the witch. Some witches use a besom to sweep their magic circles, ritually cleansing the circles of all negativity. Others use the besom like a staff and will mark the circle with it. It can certainly have a place in specific isolated rituals, for example, being jumped over at a wedding rite. I thought that was interesting because in African American history, during enslavement, we jump over the broom. And I'm pretty sure like even that predates enslavement. Maybe we did that in Africa. I don't know. But yeah, that was kind of interesting. He talks about how to consecrate the tools. He shows you how to make a globe of power, just different illustrations, how to do a ritual. He even goes with like the Esbats and the Sabbats, which are mostly the holy days, the wheels of the year. So this book, as I said, is for beginners. I feel the target audience is for beginners. And if you are advancing, you need a refresher, just go back and do it. One thing that I thought was interesting was he's like, magic should only be used when needed. Magic should only be used when, I guess, when you don't really have, if it can't be solved with just doing basic non-magical things, then do it. Me personally, I feel that if you are practicing magic, then you can use magic for almost every solution. You can use magic for protection. You can use magic for your finances. You can use it for your health. You can use it for your beauty. I mean, it's there. It is a tool of power. Then why not utilize it to the fullest? The more you associate with something, the more attached you become to it, the more powerful you become. But yeah, I think this book was pretty good. I learned a lot of new things. I did not know that runes were divided into, what was it? Like, I guess, I don't even know. I can't explain it. I didn't know that the runes were divided by gods, or don't even quote me on this. Anyway, but here are the runes in their different categories, which I didn't even know they had different categories. He gives a list of the reverse meaning and the regular meaning, tarot layouts. This book is just a great tool for beginners. So that is all I have to say. If you are just getting into Wicca and you just want one of these books, you can. Raymond Buckland. Names to look out for. Raymond Buckland is a good author. Scott Cunningham. What is her name? Doreen Valiente? Oh no. So everybody have a nice day and happy reading to you. I will have more books coming next week. Bye-bye.